Hello, book review time. Written by Murphy here with a book review of Olive Kitteridge. This is a book that was published in 2008 and it won the Pulitzer Prize. It's by Elizabeth Strout. It's a well-written book. It's a story of a woman who, well, it's kind of unusually written. It's written in like 3 short stories, but it's all pretty much in the same town or about people in that town. And when it comes to small towns, people are very connected. So these people are like, they're connected and they kind of know each other, and it hints at like things that have happened to each other. They kind of refer to each other. So in that way, it reminds me of the beautiful poem by Dylan Thomas, Under Milkwood, which is kind of exactly the same premise. Elizabeth Strout had to have read Under Milkwood because it's very similar. Now, Elizabeth Strout is an American, and the town where all this happens is in Maine, so it's a small provincial town. The story is not heroic. It's about kind of the tedium of everyday life that keeps having to be lived. It is about people growing old and, in fact, dying, and all the insults and tragedies of having a whole life. So she writes that well. She does write it well. In the same way, it kind of reminds me of Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, because Mrs. Dalloway is like in her mind. Now let's talk about Olive Kitteridge. She is not the nicest lady. She was the math teacher in town, and so she knows everybody. You know how in a small town when you know somebody and they're your teacher, and everybody you can't stop calling them Mrs. in her case Mrs. Kitteridge, because they're always that's who they are, and it's hard to like treat them as an adult to adult. So, and she's kind of that way anyway because she's a gruff character, and one of her flaws is she never apologizes for anything. So it's about, that, and the love that she and her husband have for each other, which is very sweet, very flawed, very human. And I recommended the book to my mother because it's very much about all of the aches and scars and memories of growing old, which I am in the process of doing. I'm, along that path there, and all of us are on that. And so it's nice to read. And yet, I must at this moment say, every prize-winning book seems that it must be depressing. Why? Why can't we have a heroic, marvelous, soaring, I feel like I can be a better person now, Pulitzer Prize winner? I don't know. I think all the people in the committees are a bit they're a bit depressive, because oh my gosh, this one right away, and I knew it. I'm like, oh, it's a Pulitzer Prize winning. And as soon as I saw that was, before I picked it up, as soon as I saw it was a winner, I'm like, oh, it's going to be depressing. I know it. I have learned a couple years ago, and I did a essay about it, like these literary books, always depressing. And right away they had a suicide. Suicide is mentioned throughout this book. It's like they're walking along with everybody. Suicide is real. I'm not talking about it. Depression is real, and I'm not saying we shouldn't talk about it, but can we also talk about glorious things that we could be doing? Glorious things that other people have done that inspire us to keep going? Not in prize-winning fiction. Sorry, we're going to keep it on the down low. We're going to say, don't try too hard. Just, prize-winning people, we don't want to make them heroic. And that depresses me. I'm like, guys, come on. There are some gorgeous books that have been written about heroic things, and dare I say it, Lord of the Rings, pretty darn good book, but that'll never win a prize. And nobody who says this person overcame tremendous odds is going to win a prize. They don't want to hear it. Fine. Still, if you're in the mood for a walk along the streets of a small Maine town, it's a worthy book. And I just know these prize-winning committees, they don't want to see anybody too triumphant. Figures. That's fine. I don't need you, prize-winning committee. I'm going to go be triumphant in my life and be inspired by triumphant people. And yeah, dragons may be involved. And that's fine with me. Okay. That's what I have. Olive Kitteridge. Did you read it? Did you like it? What do you think? Do you have opinions about prize-winning books? I'd like to know. Let me know. Let's keep the conversation going.